And y'all, Conan, come on in the room. So I do um, elderly lady, and her name is Sally Sosay, and she sings that song. Come on in the room. Come on in the room, y'all. Come on. I want to invite y'all to the channel tonight. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'm living this life big, y'all. I'm living this life big. So tonight, I am going to, oh, that was a mosquito. Tonight, I want to talk to you all about a couple things. The first thing that I want to talk about is, do you know your job learning language? Do you know your job learning language? And the other thing that I wanted to ask is, have you ever been constructively discharged? Have you ever been constructively discharged? Unpack this thing tonight. Have you ever been constructively discharged? And do you know your job learning language? So let's start off by saying making money, working a job. Now, that's some pretty amazing stuff. Okay, before I go any further, I do want to thank my people who've actually subscribed. I have over 120 something, I don't know exactly, I want to say 131 subscribers or something like that. But y'all, I am so excited. I'm building my momentum, all because you all take the time to view, like, and share my channel. So if you're not already subscribed, please consider doing that. Okay, so tonight we are talking about, do you know your job learning language? And have you ever been constructively discharged? Okay, so let's talk about the learning your job learning language first. And all that amounts to is, do you know how you learn your job best? Do you know the best way for you to learn your job? Now, I discovered this little thing when I was in college. I went to four different colleges. I went to Three Rivers College, I went to ASU in Jonesboro, I went to UK in Lexington, and I went to Eastern so far. So I it took me a long time. Like I was almost uh in my I was probably in my junior year before I realized what my learning language was. You know, people talk about what is your love language. So, what are the things that really get you excited and make loving fun and last for you? But tonight we're talking about your job learning language. And we're talking about what are the things that you know help you to learn your job. So if you know your language for learning on your job already, put it in the comments. So here we go. It took me a long time to figure this out, y'all, but I think I finally cracked the code. I cracked the code. So when you are starting a job, you want to be the best employee that you can be. So, whoever is training you, that's going to be very important for you to take note of who's training you, because when you know your job learning language, then it helps you be able to navigate the journey on your job, because you know how best to learn the job. So if you don't know what your job learning language is, I encourage you to stay tuned to the end of this, because it's going to get pretty good. So I found out that one of my job learning languages is visuals. I do so well with visuals. So if you show me something, I can almost memorize it just by looking at it one time. Anybody else like that? I can almost memorize it by just looking at it one time. But if I study it long enough, oh, I got it. But it wasn't until, like I say, about my junior year that I realized how important it was for me to have a visual as I'm learning the information. So, you know how when you're in college, a professor will give you um, a packet this thick of everything that you're going to do in the class. What is that called? I can't think of it right now off the top of my head, but they will give you instructions on what they are going to teach you and what your responsibility is. They're going to give you that. Oh man, what is it? What is it? It's called, what is that called? Syllabus. Syllabus. Come on, y'all got to be quicker than me, quicker than that. So they will give you a syllabus, and that syllabus will tell you everything about the class, what is expected of you, and when it's due. So when I first started college, would get that syllabus and tuck it away out of sight, out of mind. Okay, because it didn't have pictures in it. It didn't have any drawings, any diagrams. It didn't have any of that kind of stuff in it. So I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't do too well with those until I learned my job learning language. Okay, so there were times when I was in college that the professor would give us the syllabus, and I never really read it thoroughly, and I would miss deadlines or I would miss assignments, and or I would miss, like sometimes there were dates on it that we were not going to meet, and so I would drive all the way to Jonesboro just to find out we didn't have class, but it was on the syllabus. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should have put a smiley face and a happy face or something on that big bad boy to let me know, don't come on this date, because if you drive that hour and a half from Poplar Bluff to Jonesboro, if you drive it, you're going to be driving it for nothing, y'all. Just a waste of time. Why? Because I didn't know my language. I didn't know my learning language. I did not know it at the time. But y'all, once I learned my job and just learning language, once I learned what it was, y'all, I started writing my own syllabus. I think I didn't. Yeah. I would put happy faces here. I would draw pictures, stick pictures, if we were going to have a guest speaker, or I would put big dots on things. Oh, I was the queen of circle, put a square, or put a triangle on the papers, because those visuals helped me keep up with my whole class. They did that. I would write whenever the professor would be speaking and teaching, I'm doodling. That's where my daughter got that from. My daughter, she doodled her whole way through college, okay? Because she figured out that that was her learning language, y'all. So once I started documenting papers, and as the instructor would be giving notes, I would be doodling and drawing and commenting, and not just highlighting, because highlighting really wasn't good enough. Anyway, oh, hey there. Thank you for the compliment. That's so kind of y'all to hop on and join me. We are talking about learning languages, specifically job learning language. Okay, so I'm going somewhere. Y'all stay with me. If you haven't liked or subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate if you would do that. So once I learned that it takes visuals, something for me to look at to help me learn and memorize my work, whether it's on my job or whether it's in class or whether it's a document that a business gives me. I learned that if I'm going to understand what it is I'm working on, I'm going to have to put some type of, hey, Janet, I'm going to put some type of artwork or visual or a smiley face or a star. I'm going to put something on it to help me be able to, because that's just how my brain is wired. Do you know your learning language? It's important. Some people can read something one time and they got it, but that ain't me. Some people can they can hear. They can listen to the instructor or they can listen to the instruction on your job. You can hear it one time and you got it. Some people read, some people can hear it. Some people are tactile learners. They need to touch something to see how it works. They need to, work with their hands. They need to do something that with their tactile touching to help them learn. But my learning language is a visual. If you give me a diagram, I memorize that big bad boy. If you give me a graph, oh, you got it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to ace that test. Yeah, I'm going to ace that assignment. If you give me an assignment on a job and you got little graphics on it of any kind, y'all look. You don't have to worry about me getting it all right because I'm going to get it all right because I now know my learning language. And if people don't give it to me, English because it's fun and cool. All right. All right. That's awesome. So, speaking of that, I had some people come to my house the other day to fix something on my refrigerator, to actually help install my refrigerator. And they were talking their language among each other. I didn't like that because I didn't understand. Yeah, they was probably talking stuff about anyway. So, we're talking about language learning. What is your learning language right now? That's the one part of this video. So if you haven't liked and shared my video, please do that. If you know somebody looking for a job, or if you know somebody's getting ready to go off to college, this video is for them because I am encouraging everybody, whether you're retired and you are living at home by yourself, you're single, you still need to know your learning language because you're going to come across business papers. You're going to come across things that you want to buy. So it's important that you learn your learning language. How do you learn? How do you pick up on things? Once you get it, it's going to be hard for anybody to fool you because you've taken some visual notes or you have heard it and you know that that's your strength is listening. Or if you read stuff, just read it one time and you got it. But whatever it is that is your learning tool, how you learn best, make sure, make sure that you use it to help you navigate this world. And you can use that learning language in every part of your life. So, again, I told you that my learning language is visuals. Okay, now I'm going to talk specifically right now about your learning language on your job. So, I'm going to tell you about something that happened to me in just a minute. But before I do, we've already reviewed. You got to know what helps you learn. That's the first piece of this video. The second video is being able to apply or being able to use your learning language on a job. It's kind of a tricky thing because a lot of employers will not give you information in a way that you can access it according to your learning language. So you have got to learn how to speak up and say, can you show me? Can you read it to me? Can you say that one more time? I didn't quite catch everything that you said. Can you repeat it, please? Once you learn what your learning language is, you are going to be a force to be reckoned with no matter what you do, no matter where you go. Even if you just stay at home, you're a homebody, there's going to be some opportunities for you to actually use your learning. Okay, so that's the background of the story that I'm getting ready to tell you. So, once upon a time, and I will be sharing several of these type stories with you all. So, learn your learning language and know how to apply it on your job. So, once upon a time, y'all, here we go. I got a job at Briggs and Stratton in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, out of all the places, because I heard you could make some good money at Briggs and Stratton, y'all. So my husband at the time was in the military, and you know, some people make good money when they're in the military, and they take real good advantage of all the perks and things like that. Well, we were a young, very young couple, and we didn't know a whole lot about finances and how to budget and rearrange your money and all that kind of stuff. So I needed to work. Okay. So I get me a job at Briggs and Stratton, y'all. And at the time, I did not know my learning language. And for sure didn't know how to ask for what I wanted or what I needed to help me learn. So I applied for this job. This is where a lot of people were working. If you get on here and you know someone who has ever worked at any Briggs and Stratton, put it in the comments. If you know, if you've ever worked at Briggs and Stratton, place called Briggs and Stratton, put it in the comments. Okay. So if you are new to this video, I'm trying to shut my patio door because I don't want mosquitoes coming in. If you are new to this video, what I'm talking about is being constructively discharged. And have you ever been constructively discharged? And the first part, and I've already went over that, so you can just do the replay. The other part of my video right now is, do you know your learning language? Okay. So I get this job at Briggs and Stratton, and it seemed like everybody and their mama worked there, and people were just going back and forth, running back like some worker bees. I mean, ants all over the place, just, people bumping into each other and just, whoo, it was so much going on in this job. I think, oh, Rachel you used to work there for real. Girl, I bet you worked there longer than I did. So thank you for joining my channel tonight, Rachel. I greatly appreciate you. Hope you and those babies are doing well. So I get the job. In the first couple days, I'm just observing and watching everybody. So that was good. And then they gave me an actual assignment. One of my assignments was sticking a hose inside another hose, like putting two hoses together. And so, I did pretty good with that, kind of slow because I wanted to do it perfectly. Oh, wow. 1 year. You laughing. I'm getting ready to tell you how long Reba worked. So that was one of my jobs, to hook some hoses together. And like I say, I did pretty good. But I was just a little slow. Okay. I did that for about 3 or 4 days, and my supervisor, she said, we're going to be moving you to a different department. I said, okay, I'm eager to learn. I'm always wanting to learn new things. I'm at Briggs and Stratton. After all, that's where everybody goes. That's where you make the big bucks in Papa Bluff. So when I changed jobs, I changed supervisors. hmm I changed supervisors. And when I changed supervisors, I got a young girl. She had blondish brown hair, but she was high strung. And you could tell she had been there around there for a while because she was trying to throw weight around. Okay, so she told me, now remember my learning language is a visual. She told me what to do. Now I heard part of it. I guess I didn't hear all of it because I didn't do too well the first couple of days. So this particular job that I had, and I'm almost done with this story time post today. But this particular job that they gave me was putting gas in a real small, like, in a nozzle on part of this little machine. I can't really describe it, but I had to put gas in a container, and I didn't want to spill any gas. I didn't want to waste. I didn't want gas to be flying around on the floor. So I was very specific about how I was intentional, making sure I put that gas right in the right spot. Don't overdo it. Don't underdo it. I wanted to do it just right. So I started working. I started being a worker bee, y'all. I mean, this container was coming down the line. Here we go. And I'm squirting this gas in it. And after a while, it seemed like it really started having babies. And I was squirting and wasting gas. And so I slowed down a little bit and it made the line slow down. So the supervisor comes to me and, she wasn't harsh, but she was saying, Reba, you can't do it that way. You know, you got to put it in with the nozzle down. And I'm telling you, she never did show me. Okay. She never did give me a visual. She never did actually show me how to do it. Have you ever been on a job where your supervisor boss didn't really show you what they wanted you to do? They would give you a little bit and then they would walk off. And some even micromanage, but they never really showed you really how to do what they wanted you to do. Well, that was the case this time. Now, we're talking about two things, y'all. We're talking about our language for learning, whether we're on a job or just in life. And have you ever been constructively discharged? Okay. My learning language is visuals. You can show me, but I got to be able to see it. You can't give me something to read because I probably won't read it, or I might. Uh, um, and you can't just tell me. You got to show me. So in this particular situation, I did not grasp on to what I needed to do because she never showed me. She never gave me a picture. She never, she didn't demonstrate what needed to be done. And that was totally, I would say, her fault. In my other world, I would say it's her fault. But in this world right now, I realized that it wasn't all her fault. I needed to have I needed to advocate for myself and ask her, can you show me? Can you give me a visual? Do you have a picture on how this should be done? Or just show me. I didn't have the language for that. So she came back to me 2 or 3 times because I started having gas like all around me. That gas was starting to accumulate. Y'all, this is terribly embarrassing. This particular day, I come to work, happy go lucky. I'm gonna make my little $2, $3, and then I'm gonna go home. And then at the end of the week, or however when you get paid, once a week or every 2 weeks, I'm gonna take my big fat check and I'm gonna do what I needed to do with it, right? So I'm all excited. I get to work, got my little work clothes on, my Briggs and Stratton work clothes, boots. You know, I was ready for my job, y'all. I was so excited about that job, y'all. Look at here, look at here. I was so excited to be back at work again, just knowing that I had a job at Briggs and Stratton. That's right. So I get there and get on the line, and I start doing my job the best I knew how. And I messed up one too many times. And she came over there and now again, up until this point, she was starting to raise her voice at me. She was starting to do little things like that. Oh my God, just saying little things under her breath. And I know she was talking smack about me when she left me. I know she was. But anyway, y'all, I kept doing my job because I'm a Briggs and Stratton employee about to make this bread. She came to me, y'all, that day after about 2 hours of my hard earned labor. She came to me and she started raising her voice at me again. See, the first few times, first couple, 2, 3 times, I let that stuff slide. But this particular day, you know how I always tell people, don't let people make you have a bad day. Don't let what they do or say influence how you move, especially when you're working on something. Sometimes you gotta, bite your tongue. Sometimes you have to advocate in a way that people understand. Sometimes you have to advocate in a way that people understand. Well, she hadn't trained me in my learning language, and she didn't come to me with respect that day. So she started yelling at me. I don't know how many times I've got to tell you that's not how. Oh, yes, she did. She did that. And I looked at the little young girl, and I'm already, feeling some kind of way anyway because I hadn't been trained for real, for real. And she yelled at me, and she took something she had in her hand and she set it down. And I guess she was getting ready to show me how to do it at that point. But you know what I did? Now this was wrong. Don't y'all do if you own a job, don't do what I'm getting ready to tell you I did. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. But she was yelling at me. And when she set that thing down, it really scared me. Because she set it down hard and made a loud noise. I think the main thing was that people were watching and listening. And they saw how she was treating me. And some people were like kind of low-key sniggling and when she did that, it scared me and I jumped. This is how you do it. And I said, you know what? I don't need this job. My husband in the military. I don't need this job. You're not going to talk to me in that tone. You're not going to disrespect me because it's not okay. I tell you what you can do. Now, at that time, I was in church, but church wasn't in me. Mm-hmm. I took that hose, what I was working on, and I threw it down. Gas really got going then. Gas started running all over the floor. I told that supervisor with her young, little cute self, you can take this job and stick it where the sun don't shine. I threw that piece of gas nozzle down and I walked out a proud, constructively discharged employee. So when you have been constructively discharged, you quit because the work is hostile. The working environment is hostile. You've been sexually harassed, or you've been just bullied, or you have been embarrassed multiple times, or you get in trouble for doing your job that you were told to do, or they don't train you according to your learning language. Being constructively discharged or walking off your job It's not always a good thing, but sometimes it's a necessary thing. And in my case, it was necessary because I had my dignity. Because my husband's in the military and I didn't need that job. I really did, but you know what I'm saying. I walked off the job. Y'all, sometimes you have to walk. Sometimes when you don't know your learning language and you don't know how to advocate for yourself and you don't know how to articulate what you need, when you don't know that, it makes it hard. So if you or someone you know is on a job and you're struggling with a part of the directions or how to do something or when to do it, if you're struggling with that, ask yourself, what is it that helps me learn better? What can I do to help me learn better so that I can do a better job and be a more productive employee? What can I do? What is my learning language? Once you determine what your learning language is, you can stay on a job, articulate your needs and wants and even desires in a way to let them know, hey, this is how I acquire knowledge in the world. This is something that could help me. If you write it down, show me how to do it. If you repeat the question, repeat the directions, you have to know how to advocate for yourself. Because once you learn how to advocate and ask for what you need or what you want or what's going to make you better, once you get that learning language down pat, y'all, it's hard for people to get over on you. It's hard for you to get a bad write up. Why? Because you now know how to ask in a way that they can teach you your job using your learning language. Getting fired is one thing, but being constructively discharged, that's a whole nother beast. See, when you are constructively discharged or you quit, sometimes you run the risk of not getting your unemployment. You run the risk of missing out on uh, a paycheck. You run the risk of having a schedule of someplace to go. You know how when you're not working, you can lose track of time and not even know what day it is very easily. So having a job or somewhere specifically to go, even if you just volunteer a couple of times a week, having somewhere to go or something to do, some type of schedule, if you have those kind of things going on, well, it helps your journey in life. It helps you be able to navigate your world so much easier when you learn your learning language. So I encourage anybody that's listened that you go and think about, how do I learn best? What are the things that I can do on my job to help me be more successful? You know, I've had some work done on my house, had a new roof put on, and I just got a new refrigerator. And during that process of just those two things, there's some other things that I've been doing as well on my house, but just those two things alone, I used my learning language to navigate those things and to articulate what I needed from the contractors so that I had the best possible outcome. That's right. So I've got a plumber that's going to come to my house this coming up week. And because I effectively advocated for myself, I use my learning language in learning what I needed to do in order to say what I needed to say. So I use my learning language. And now when the plumber comes to my home, I'll pay them and just keep my receipt And the company that I got my refrigerator from, they're going to reimburse me because something that their delivery people did that wasn't proper. So I spoke up, I advocated for myself, and then I was able to have my needs met. So I encourage you and you and you and you to think about, how do I learn best? How do I acquire knowledge best? Is it by reading? Is it by listening? Is it by doing? Is it visuals? Or is it a combination? Some people, you have to tell them multiple times and then you have to show them, physically show them. But everybody learn things in their world differently. And once you understand how you learn, then you can help teach other people how to teach you, so that you get it, so that you understand it, so that you can better navigate your world. That's right. And being constructively discharged a lot of times comes about because people have a hard time articulating their needs and their wants, and just learning the job and keeping the job. If you know your learning language, you can better advocate for yourself. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't get fired. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get so frustrated that you just walk off the job and are constructively discharged. It doesn't mean that that can't or won't happen, because it can. But the more you utilize your learning language in all aspects of your life, you'll be able to navigate your life so much easier, so much easier. Even like when I'm in church, it looks like I'm doodling, but I am making little marks and making notes and putting stars and circles and underlining things, because I'm going to come back to it. And because I've used my learning language tool, I'll be able to come back to it, and it will, that things that I do is going to help me be able to learn it, and it'll stick. But it's hard when you don't know how you learn best. So I just encourage you to use your learning language on your job and in all aspects of your life, so that you don't end up being constructively discharged. Yep, I just walked off. That's not the only job I walked off from. I'm going to explain some maybe in another story to you all. But thank you so much. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And if you know anyone who is either on a job or even getting ready to start a job, we've got some seniors that's some may not be going straight to college. Some people are going to go to the workforce. If you know a senior, whether they're going to college or not, because they'll need this information even in college. But whether it's college or a job or volunteer or even starting their own business, let them know. Watch this, listen to it, and learn what your learning language is, so that you don't have to end up being constructively discharged without a fight. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Till the next time, y'all have a good Sunday, the rest of your Sunday evening.